advertised for a young actor to play me, and that would be interesting to see how they do it. But, you know, I'm not particularly precious about my past because I'm not that person.
Boy George is an English musician, songwriter, fashion designer, photographer, and DJ, born June 14, 1961 in the United Kingdom. In the 1980s, he rose to fame as a member of the New Romantic campaign. George was a pioneer of the group, receiving recognition for his rhythm, funk, and classic pop singing style. He became famous as a lead singer of a pop band, Culture Club. His club has also won several awards such as the Brit Award for Best British Single, Grammy Award for Best New Artist, Q Awards for Q Idol, Rock and Roll Hall of Fame for the 500 songs that shaped rock and roll. Culture Club's first album, Kissing to Be Clever, was released in 1982, and their third single, Do You Really Want to Hurt Me, was a huge hit, topping the charts in 16 different countries. The band was quickly successful, but George's drug abuse arose in 1985. He spent a lot of time in jail and rehabilitation centers. George is also an author. In addition to song lyrics, he's published 2 autobiographies named Take It Like a Man and Straight. Although he's released solo albums, George's personal life has received more attention than his songs.
I don't know, I don't want to use a rude word, but I wish I'd been more present.
Yeah.
Because to me, it's such a massive thing, and now I think, why was I so stupid? Why did I bring a drag queen with me to see Frank Sinatra?
If you enjoy these videos, please remember to hit the like button, as it does help us out a lot. And comment below who your favorite celebrity is that you'd love to see in an upcoming video. His full name is George Allen O'Dowd, but is also known as Boy George. He was born June 14, 1961 in the UK, making him 59 at the time of this production. He stands at 6 feet tall, or 183 centimeters. George has been dealing with drug abuse for several years by the late 1980s. While under its control, he tried to hold concerts. Many drug addictions quickly followed. Looking forward to saving George's life, his brother David appeared on UK national TV and addressed George's heroin use, which George had openly denied at the time. Boy George was imprisoned for heroin use as part of his music club in 1986. George was arrested in Manhattan on October 7, 2005, on suspicion of drug possession and wrongly disclosing a robbery. George denied having any knowledge about the drugs. The drug offense charge was dismissed in court on February 1, 2006, and George pled guilty to wrongly disclosing a robbery. He was sentenced to 5 days of community work, a $1,000 fine, and a rehab program. A Manhattan judge released a warrant for Boy George's arrest on June 17, 2006, after he refused to appear in court for a hearing on whether George decided to change his probation for the fake theft report. The court was told by George's lawyer that he had instructed Boy George not to participate at the hearing. On December 5, 2008, George was convicted in the court, London, of the April 2007 attack and unlawful imprisonment of Auden Carlson, a Norwegian model and male escort who originally stood for modeling sessions with George, but was bound to a wall fixture and beaten with a metal chain on their next encounter. As a mitigating cause, George's defense cited the consequences of his long-term heroin and cocaine use. George was sentenced to 15 months in jail for these offenses in 2009. When George was in Culture Club, his edgy look drew a lot of attention, and there was talk about his identity. When a host asked George on her show in 1983, do he prefer men or women, he responded, both. Once Barbara Walters questioned George about his sexual identity in 1985, he claimed he was bisexual and had different partners, girlfriends, and boyfriends in the past. He said in an interview that he preferred a good cup of tea to sex. George revealed in his 1995 autobiography, Take It Like a Man, that he was gay, not bisexual, and that he had hidden affairs with rock music star Kirk Brandon and his club member drummer John Moss. He claimed that many of the Culture Club songs he wrote were about his secret relationship with Moss. In 2008 documentary Living with Boy George, he discussed his first realization that he was gay. Since 2015, Boy George is single, and he also posted on Instagram about this.
Still the most iconic conversation I've ever had.
Yeah.
I just met him in Paris and he wanted to meet me, and then when I sat down, he just didn't say a word, he just stared at me. And I wanted the floor to swallow me.
Boy George Allen O'Dowd was born June 14, 1961 in London to Jerry and Dinah O'Dowd. He grew up in a working-class Irish Catholic family. His father was born in England of Irish origin, and his mother was born in Dublin. His older brother Kevin, two younger brothers Gerald and David, and a younger sister, Siobhan. George says he had a solitary upbringing, relating to himself as the family's pink sheep. George, on the other hand, did not suit the stereotype of a traditional high school student with a preference for the arts over science and math. He struggled to step into stereotypical masculine expectations. With his classwork failing and a constant war between him and his teachers, it wasn't long before the school decided to give up and expel George for his increasingly absurd actions and inappropriate clothing. Boy George used to dress both like a man and a woman. Malcolm McLaren, a band manager, liked his look. Boy George was invited by Malcolm to join his English band, Bow Wow Wow. Boy George wanted to form his own band not long after joining Bow Wow Wow. He formed the Culture Club with John Moss, Mikey Craig, and Roy Hay. In 1982, the band recorded their first album, Kissing to Be Clever. Club performed their hit song, Do You Really Want to Hurt Me, on this record, which would go on to become one of their most popular tracks. Other tracks on the album have contributed to their success as a trio. George began working on his solo career after Culture Club split up. Sold, his first solo album, was released in 1987. He released 3 more solo albums over the next 2 years: Tense Nervous Headache, Boyfriend, and Hi-Hat. His second solo album was not released until 1995. Instead of singing punk, he experimented with rock and roll on his album, Cheapness and Beauty. The latest look didn't fit for him, at least according to reviewers and fans. The album did not do well at the box office. Culture Club reunited in 1998 for a reunion tour of the United Kingdom. The band also collaborated on new music and released another album, Don't Mind If I Do, in 1999. The band later went on to tour in support of their new record. Boy George released a new album, Ordinary Alien, in 2009. George held 2 live concerts with Culture Club in 2011. Coming Home, Boy George's most recent album, was released in 2013. This album was released digitally and did extremely well. He has also published 2 autobiographies.
A lot of persecution of LGBTQI plus people in Ghana. So I've done a song where I'm singing to the president. I sing, Nana Akufo-Addo, it's in the song. I've used him in the song.
Boy George earns $15,342.40 per day, $639.27 per hour, and $10.65 per minute. Boy George has a net worth of $33.6 million. The former 80s pop star and Culture Club lead singer resides in a Gothic house in the exclusive Hampstead neighborhood. Boy George owns the following cars: Mercedes CDI, Range Rover, and some classic cars. A Cadillac XLR, a Ferrari 599 GTB Fiorano, a Porsche 911,